Welcome to Premath. In this video tutorial, we have got this right triangle ABC and we have this altitude BD that divides this hypotenuse into two parts in a ratio of 9 and 4, as you can see in this figure. And now we are going to calculate the length of this altitude BD. So let me remind you that in this video tutorial I will show you three different methods to solve this problem that involves geometry as well as trigonometry. So let's go ahead and get started with the very first method. We have this right triangle altitude theorem. The altitude to the hypotenuse of a right triangle forms two triangles that are similar to each other and to the original triangle. And by the way, this theorem is also called the Geometric Mean Theorem. So therefore, we will be using this geometric formula to solve this problem. So let me go ahead and call this altitude BD as H, and this line segment AD I'm going to call M, and this line segment DC I'm going to call N. And now let's look at this formula once again. H equal to square root of M times N. Let's go ahead and fill in the blanks. So we got H as an altitude equal to square root of M in our case is 9 and N is 4. Let's go ahead and fill in the blanks. So 9 times 4, that is going to give us square root of 36. So that means H turns out to be 6. So thus our altitude BD turns out to be 6. And here's our second method. So before we proceed, let me go ahead and call this segment BC as an X, and this AB I'm going to call Y, and this altitude BD is our H. And here's our very first step. Let's focus on this big triangle ABC, and we know this is a right triangle. So therefore, we are going to use the Pythagorean theorem. And here's the Pythagorean theorem. A square plus B square equal to C square. I'm going to call this leg BC as an A, this leg AB as B, and this AC, this whole thing, I am going to call leg C. This is our hypotenuse, and the value of this C is going to be a 9 plus this 4 is going to make 13. And here's our Pythagorean formula. A square plus B square equal to C square. Let's go ahead and fill in the blanks. In our case, A in our case is X, so I'm going to put down X square, plus B in our case is Y, so it's going to become Y square, and C in our case is 13, so that is going to become 13 square. Let's go ahead and simplify furthermore. So we got X square plus Y square equal to 169, and I am going to call this as an equation number 1. And here's our next step. Let's focus on this triangle BDC, and since this is a right triangle as well, we are going to use the Pythagorean theorem. And here's our Pythagorean theorem once again. So let me go ahead and call this hypotenuse, I am going to call C, since this is a longest leg, and I'm going to call this leg BD as an A, and then leg DC as a B. And here's our Pythagorean formula. Let's go ahead and fill in the blanks. In our case, A is H, B is 4, and C is X. So I can write this become H square plus 4 square equal to X square. So I can write this equation as X square equal to H square plus 16, and I'm going to call this equation as number 2. And here's our next step. Let's focus on this triangle ABD. And since this triangle is a right triangle, let's go ahead and use the Pythagorean theorem. And here's our Pythagorean theorem once again. So let me go ahead and call this hypotenuse, the longest leg AB, I'm going to call side C. This one I'm going to call BD side A, and this leg AD I'm going to call B. And here's our Pythagorean formula. Let's go ahead and fill in the blanks. In our case, A is H, B is 9, and C is Y. So that is going to have this become H square plus 9 square equal to Y square. Let's simplify this thing. So I can write this one, Y square equal to H square plus 81, and I am going to call this as an equation number 3. And now in this next step, we are going to substitute equation 2 and 3 in equation 1, as you can see over here. And here's our equation number 1. So wherever we see x square, I am going to replace this one by this h square plus 16. So I can write h square plus 16, and then plus for y square, I am going to replace it by h square plus 81 equal to 169. So let's go ahead and combine the like terms. So it's going to become 2h square plus 97 equal to 169. Let's move this 97 on the other side. So 2h square equal to 169 minus 97. So 2h square equal to 72, or simply h square equal to 36. Let's take the square root on both sides. So h simply turns out to be 6. So thus the value of this altitude BD turns out to be 6, and that is our final answer. And here's our third method, and we will be using trigonometry this time. And in this step, let's focus on this triangle ABD, this one over here. I'm going to call this angle on this side alpha, and I am going to call this angle beta over here, as you can see. And we know that the triangle sum is 180 degrees for these three angles, and this one is 90 degrees. So that means alpha and beta add up to 90 degrees. That means they are complementary angles. And here's the definition of a complementary angles. Two angles are complementary if they add up to 90 degrees. And here one more thing, this angle is 90 degrees and this is a beta. So that means this angle is going to be the complement of beta, which is going to be alpha. And now let's focus on our trigonometric ratios, sine, cosine, tangent. That's what we call SOHCAHTOA. And we are going to focus on this angle alpha. And as we can see, that this part is going to be our adjacent, and this h is going to be our opposite. So we can see we can apply this tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. So thus in our case, tangent of alpha equal to opposite in our case is h divided by adjacent is 9. And I am going to call this as an equation number 4. And now let's focus on this triangle BDC, as we can see over here. And let's look at this angle alpha in this triangle, this one. If we look at this thing, then this side is going to be our adjacent BD, and this side DC is going to be our opposite. So once again, we're going to be using tangent, which is equal to opposite over adjacent. So thus our tangent of alpha is going to be opposite in our case is 4 divided by adjacent is h, and I am going to call this equation number 5. Now we are going to compare equations 4 and 5. Since the left hand side is same, so we can equate the right hand side. I can write h over 9 equal to 4 over h. Let's do the cross multiplication. So once you do that one, we are going to get h square equal to 36. Let's take the square root on both sides to undo this square. So that means our h value turns out to be 6. So the length of our side BD, which is our altitude, turns out to be 6 once again. And that's our final answer. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more exciting videos. Bye.